Welcome back into the Motor Index, folks. And well, it is one of my favorite weekends of the year. It is NASCAR race weekend at Pocono. Pocono is one of my favorite tracks on the entire schedule for several reasons. I just feel Pocono embodies so much of what I love about NASCAR. It's the danger. It is one of the most dangerous tracks on the entire circuit. One that people, might not think about. Well, hardcore fans obviously know, but when to the naked eye you see Daytona, Talladega, maybe your Atlantas, and you think, all right, yeah, I see why that's dangerous. But people may not look at a Pocono and say, oh, this is a dangerous track, but it is very dangerous, highly treacherous, um, on the very razor's edge of the limits of these race cars. And it is one of, for so many reasons, it brings out very compelling strategies from time to time. Um, with just how long the track is, the strategy with the fuel, it's man versus machine. Hard to keep that race car in one piece. Not only just going on the wall, but just, you know, you are pushing that thing to the limit hard, like just everything about it. It is just man versus machine. I love it. It is unbelievable. So, um, yeah, I look back to races like one of my favorite races ever was was it 20 it was either 2022 or 2023 Pocono when Kyle Busch won, when his transmission got would not stick in fourth. So there was points of that race where he had to like race the car while holding the car in fourth gear and racing with one hand. It was remarkable. And so he has this issue, right? Goes to pit road. They get in, like one of the pit crew members hops into the car, like from the other side, and is like has a bungee cording the shifter to into fourth gear so it would stay there. And then when Kyle puts it into gear when they start, and he could just latch it in there and it would stay in fourth gear. And then he went on to win the race. It was insanity. It was pure insanity. It was like the fact and it was so funny because it was like we were watching Kyle Busch have issues all day, and then that pops up, and then you watch him climb through the field and then eventually win. I believe it was on a fuel strategy, but still, just remarkable. It's incredible the ways people can win here. But and then speaking of incredible ways to win, how about when Alex Bowman won? When I believe this was actually in the same weekend. It was the Pocono double back to back. Kyle Larson going for four straight wins. I believe this was the day before the Kyle Busch one, going for his fourth straight win, blowing the tire in the final turn, going into the wall. Bowman passed him for the win. It's just unbelievable some of the things that can happen here. Or I even look back at some of those battles between. Denny Hamlin's won here multiple times in recent memory and overall throughout his career, but I think back to that battle between him and Larson when he ran Larson really high into the wall, and then went on to win. This track produces some very entertaining moments, so it's just why I love this track so much. It's such a unique track, the tricky triangle they call it, with the long sweeping turn one on that takes you onto the back straightaway, longest straightaway on the NASCAR Cup Series circuit, at least as far as ovals are concerned. It's actually crazy that the straightaway at Mexico City is longer, but as far as ovals are concerned, this is the longest straightaway, taking you into that really treacherous tunnel turn where we've seen a lot of people have issues, and then into that weird turn in turn three that takes you back on the straightaway, which I believe is shaped like Indianapolis, if I'm remembering correctly. One or two of those turns I know one of the turns is shaped after. Excuse me. One of the turns is shaped after. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. One of the turns is shaped after Indianapolis, and I'm forgetting what the other two turns are shaped after, but it's just what makes Pocono so unique. It's awesome. I love it. But I guess let's just get into my race picks, shall we? Um, I wanted to go with last year's winner Ryan Blaney, and I do think he'll be in the mix. But the man versus machine aspect with the blow ups that Penske has had this year, That scares me at Pocono, and I'm not going to go with Blaney to win, though I do have him as a contender here. I'm going with the generic pick. I'm going with Denny Hamlin. I think he's been really hot recently. Didn't race last weekend, won the weekend prior, coming back. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling one way or another, we're going to see the 11 in victory lane this week. So I know it's a boring pick, but it's my boring pick, and I'm going with it. I'd rather pick right than wrong. So, yeah, I'm going with Denny Hamlin. So, as far as other contenders, like I said, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson's always in the mix at Pocono. Wouldn't be surprised if he won this race. William Byron, just given the recent success, I would not be shocked to see him up front, potentially leading laps and winning the race. I believe last year he might have been William Byron might have been the best car, and then had an issue, and then leading to Ryan Blaney winning. Um, if I'm remembering correctly, I'm pretty sure William Byron was one of the better cars last year here at Pocono. So Alex Bowman, like I said, kind of just going over the whole Hendrick camp here at this point. But Alex Bowman, if he's not winning, he's typically contending at Pocono. So would not be shocked to see him in the top 5 or 10 this weekend. And then lastly, I already talked about him, Kyle Busch. We can't go to Pocono and not mention Kyle Busch and the potential for him to win here. I think if the strategy goes into a potentially compelling manner with the fuel, maybe it allows him to save and potentially squeak out a win. I don't know if the win would come off pure speed, but it's just at a track this difficult, you look at the guys who have done it here before, who have a proven track record of doing it. So, yeah. But my pick, Denny Hamlin. I'm picking Denny Hamlin to win this race, and that's that. So, with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for coverage heading into. I don't even know where we go after Pocono, but heading to wherever we're going next. So, thank y'all. God bless.